EEKtober, everyone. We're doing 31 days of scary movies, and today is day 4. My name is Melissa Forziat. I am a keynote speaker. I'm your host for EEKtober. My topic when I speak is something that I call Take the Doughnut. For me, it's another way to say carpe diem. It's about going after the things you want in life. This strange thing happened in college where I left an actual donut on a table, but it became an object lesson for me in what it looks like to leave opportunities behind. So now I want to take the donut. And something that I do from time to time is issue myself a Take the Doughnut challenge. If there's something that I want to do, I'll hold myself accountable. I'll make it official and I'll say I'm doing a Take the Doughnut challenge. And this time I'm opening it up to anybody who wants to join. So here we are. We're doing 31 days of scary movies. Today is day 4. And we've been watching Jeepers Creepers, which is a fun one. It's from 2001. It's a monster film, it's a slasher film. The more you watch it, the more you can classify it as other things. So, supernatural might be something that you add to that list. It's directed and written by Victor Salva. It stars Justin Long as Derry, Gina Phillips as Trish, and Jonathan Breck as the Creeper. If you liked this film, there's a few more in the series that you can check out. There's Jeepers Creepers 2 and 3, and then there's Jeepers Creepers Reborn. So lots to explore here if you're into it. If you want more Creeper, there's plenty more where that came from. Something that I've been finding as I'm covering these is that horror movies are all different tones. And so the way I address them probably needs to match how each film is. This one has some self-aware moments, so that's definitely something that plays into it. It's got a little bit of comedic energy, but it also is a little darker. And it knows what it's doing. I think it's, very intentional in how it sort of, there's some artistic choices made in how things are built and shown in this film. So that's some general things. Now, some overall notes that I wanted to share. A couple of my favorite things about this film are the monster. The Creeper is awesome. The Creeper is cool from the beginning, very distinct, and then gets even more distinct and weird as the film goes on. It gets more and more features, if you will. So it's pretty cool to see the Creeper evolve. It's sort of growing as we go through the film. I also like the fact that at the center of this film, there's just a relationship between a brother and a sister. When I think about the films and TV shows that I really enjoy watching, they usually have good character development or they're relationship driven. And that's what I gravitate towards. And so we get a lot of that here. We get a lot of time figuring out what this relationship is between this brother and sister. They definitely care about each other and they tease each other and they kind of bring us in right from the beginning on that. Now, the way the film starts, if we just sort of go through some of the main points of each scene. So the way the film starts, we have to establish that these people are not somewhere where you can easily get help. So we're going to see farmland everywhere. And I like one of the sort of artistic choices that they make to sort of get us off balance at the start is it's like, you have to check your audio. Is my audio even on? We see a car driving from the distance, getting closer to the camera. But we don't hear anything. What's going on here? As the car approaches, we can start to hear the sound of the conversation that Trisha and Derry are having inside. Now, sometimes the conversation they're having is just like fun ribbing each other and doesn't necessarily mean a ton. Sometimes they're dropping important stuff for us. And we actually start with something kind of important. So we begin mid-conversation. They're remembering a situation where Trisha lied to help them both. And that's kind of how we end the film, almost how we end the film as well. If you think that she's offering herself up to get the creature, the creeper, to drop Derry so that the cops can shoot him, which I don't know how helpful that's really going to be. But if you think that's what's happening there, then they're sort of opening in a way that's going to echo that later. So that's where we start with this. It's been a while since they've seen a car, but now they're going to see one. There's an RV ahead of them, and they have a couple games that they play. One of them is they try to read the license plates. They try to see if there's like a hidden message in the license plate. They can spell it out. And so there's one that maybe you could read in front of them, and they both take some guesses. Trisha ends up guessing "sexy forever." And Derry's basically tailgating right behind them, and he's going to speed up so that they can see who's driving the car, and it's a senior citizen couple. So does it match "sexy forever"? Maybe if that's your thing, that's cool. So that was the first game, and we're going to see they're kind of paid back for that in a minute. So one thing we're going to learn first, though, is that they really do have concern and care for each other, despite the fact that we're alternating between serious and not so serious topics. Gary's like, it's a little weird that you're coming home to our parents with me on spring break instead of being with your boyfriend. Are you with your boyfriend? Are you broken up? Are you okay? Mom and dad are going to be so upset if you broke up with your boyfriend. They love him. So he's asking, he's really asking, not asking for a friend. He is asking. So as we're watching this conversation with them, we're looking at them through the windshield, and we can see behind them the RV that they had passed turns off the road onto another road, but there's something behind it. Are we going to find out what that is? We sure are in a second. So as we're looking at them, we can see that something is driving behind them, and it's getting faster and faster, and it's getting closer and closer. And it is a big brown but rust-covered delivery truck. Very distinct looking. I looked this up. It's a 1941 Chevrolet heavy-duty COE cab-over engine. It has a cow catcher in the front. I mean, you know what movie you're watching if you see this vehicle. And if that weren't bad enough, it's huge. It's just a little bit oversized. I mean, just like the creeper's face, it's just a little too big. And so this truck is coming up behind them, and the horn is so loud and scary. And whoever's driving it is definitely trying to scare them. They're really like the auditory, the honking of the horn, the laying on the horn, swerving around like almost out of control, but in control. Derry's trying to let this car pass them. The truck won't pass them. And it's just freaking them out. And so eventually the truck does pass them, and they can see the license plate says "beating you, karma." Did they deserve the level of karma they get? Maybe not, but they are not picked at random. Like, he just did this to a couple that was completely innocent, and now it's being done to them. So they're going to calm down, and this is going to remind them of a pretty serious incident that happened relatively recently, where a couple of people they knew went missing. Kenny and Darla. They died about 100 miles from here, didn't they? I think they did. So here's the deal. They found the car that Kenny and Darla were in, but not him or her head. I mean, that's awful. That sounds like a terrible accident. And nobody knows what really happened to them. Was it drunk driving? So now we're going to get a line from Trisha. One of a couple things that makes you think maybe Trisha's going to be a victim at the end of this. We're going to hear her say, "I used to think this is the highway I would die on." I mean, okay. Wow. Okay. It's dark. I guess the whole thing with Darla and Kenny got her thinking. So that was dark, but they're going to lighten it up by fighting over the rules of the license plate game, because Darry's just thinking about this whole "beating you" thing. And then they're going to do the thing that if you were ever a kid, you've probably had this fight with somebody where they're both saying no, 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 no. They're fighting each other, and then they want to get the last word, and one of them says "no, infinity," and the other one's like "no, infinity squared." I've been there. Not when I was their age, but I've been there. Okay, so they're going to pull over. They're going to go to the bathroom. Trish is wondering if he called mom recently. How did she sound? Did she sound weird? So I don't know. They're close. it seems like they're all pretty close. They check in with each other. And then we find out, like of the things that they, of the bond that they have with their parents. Derry's got a weird one. He brought all his dirty laundry from school. Yep, he just brought it all. She's bringing it home with him. Not because he wants to, but because mom would be depressed and sad if he didn't. She wants to be needed. Trisha's like, okay, right, I'm sure. So they're going to start name calling. They have a game around the name calling. At this point, we have been in the car with them long enough where we feel like we're in this relationship with them, like we're one of the siblings. It's tight quarters. We've been there with them for minutes now. We are going to get driving again, and as they drive, they spot the beating you truck. And it's parked at what looks like a house, but we're going to find out that it's a church in a little bit. It's one of the interesting things about this movie. They'll reveal something, and then as the movie progresses, it'll be revealed to you as something else. So it maybe looks like it could be a house at first, and then we're going to find out later that it's a church. But the more important thing is that we are going to see that the figure has gotten out of the man has gotten out of the truck, and he is throwing what looks like wrapped up bodies down what I would call a chute, but what they are calling a pipe. He throws not one but two bodies down this pipe or chute. So that's pretty scary. Trisha's going to go grab Derry's phone, which is a, old school 2001 phone, and the battery's low on the cell, so she can't make a call. And the truck, the thing is, as they pass this man throwing bodies down a chute, he sees them for sure. He stands planted where he is, and he just watches them drive past. He has clocked this situation. He has been spotted doing something probably wrong. So this will not stand. As the kids drive away, they're speculating on what they just saw, but they don't have really time to do that because the truck's gonna follow them again. And so now it's a little more serious. The truck drives so fast and doesn't stop until it crashes into them. And then he backs up and he crashes into them again. And he's going to keep doing that. And he's going to go to the side. They can't see who it is. They can't see the driver. And then he's going to crash into them again. And he's going to do this until he's run them off the road. I don't know why he didn't just finish the job right then. That's what I'm thinking when I'm watching the movie. But he runs them off the road. I guess he's not particularly concerned about them calling the police if he leaves them alive. When you're at the beginning of the movie and you think this is a man, that would be a valid concern to have. And it doesn't seem like a smart move for this guy to make, but we're going to learn more as we go on. So the car is banged up, but functional-ish. A little duct tape never hurt anything. They're pretty stunned though. So Derry's sitting there. He's now thinking past the point of his own selfish existence, which is a retort that she had for him earlier. He's like, okay, just talking out loud here, just thinking as a talk. What if the people that were dumped into that pipe were alive? Any chance there's somebody back there we need to help? Trisha's like, we can help by getting to a phone. He's like, but we can actually help by going to them. She's like, no. See, I know, like, this is the type of thing a woman knows not to do. And he's like, yes, but we must. He's like, what if it was you back there? Now that gets her. Okay. So they're going to drive back to what maybe was a house, but actually we now see it's a church. There's a cross at the top, and there are a bunch of crows all over this building. It's a dilapidated building, and there are crows everywhere. Crows are a signal of bad stuff. Okay. They like the creeper. And the creeper doesn't like them enough to do anything to them. So it's a great relationship they have. So they're going to go check out the pipe. It smells awful. Derry calls out. He actually hears somebody. And he's going to shine his flashlight. It's too deep to see. So Trish, in a self-aware moment of the movie, she says, "You know the part of scary movies where someone does something stupid and everyone hates them for it? This is it. This is the one. It's true." Yeah. I guess I feel a little bit more compassion though with Derry because I feel like we know him and he's trying to do a good thing. It's stupid though. Okay, don't do this. Of everything that you've just learned, you barely just got away with your life. Okay. So Derry is going to, they're going to look down. They can't really see down the pipe. Derry is going to ask her to hold his feet so he can hang down and try to get a little closer. And of course, that's going to go wrong. You know, it's going to go wrong from the second he gets into the pipe. I mean, absolutely no way he doesn't fall down this pipe. Am I right? Like, no way. So, of course, he sees a couple of rats and they're like, oh, drop my pen. And he just like, he falls all the way down the chute to the bottom. So now they're going to fight a little bit. At first he's stunned, he's not responding, he's unresponsive, and then eventually he kind of like wakes up. He sees a shoe, one of his shoes dangling from the edge of the pipe. Now they're going to fight a little bit. He's like, "Great, thanks for dropping, nice, awesome." He's going to put his shoe back on. The question is, how is he going to get out of here? Because you can get down the pipe, but can you get back up? The answer is that no, like definitely not. So he is contemplating that, and then he sees something and stops. He freezes. It's one of the bodies, one of the bodies that was wrapped and roped in a sheet with blood stains on it, is right near him. And I've got to tell you, it must have been moved, right? Like the creeper, why the creeper did this, I don't know. But the creeper, like before he got in the car to follow them again, I feel like, because if Derry landed where you would land if somebody dropped you down the chute, this body is many, many feet away. But I digress. So this body is wrapped and roped in a sheet, and Derry's like, "Oh my God, it's a body." And he goes over to inspect it, and it kind of breathes a little bit, and then somebody clutches him and they go to speak, but they can't. And then they point, and then they expose his stomach and find that he is an organ donor, but not intentionally. He's got a scar from like here to who knows where, and it looks like all of his major organs have been removed or something. Many of them must have been, and he has been stitched up with broad stitches. I don't know how this man is at all alive, but he won't be for long. Don't you worry. He will not suffer much longer. He's trying to say something to Derry. Important thing to tell you. And he dies. So Derry's shocked. He just saw somebody die. That's scary. Who knew that could happen if you fall down a smelly chute? So now we're going to see, he's going to go back to sort of where the pipe lets out, so he can try to talk to Trish. Something I really like about these shots of him at the bottom of the pipe is it's sort of echoed later in the film, at the end of the film, when Trish is looking up into the dark, after, where the creeper took him. This is him looking up, and she's looking into the moonlight. So the light is above her. He's looking up and the light's on him in this situation. So once again, I like that they bookend this visual in its way. So he is like very urgent now. We have to get help, go to the road, get help, get the cops. I'm going to look for a way out. If the truck comes, let me know. So he is in the basement. He's going to keep inspecting. There's lots of bodies and sheets. He's shining the light around. He finds a table with lab equipment and weird tools. And then as he's tying up his shoelace, he's got his flashlight under his arm and it's shining behind him, so he can't see what we see. We get a little bit of lead time on him here. Little dramatic irony for us. We see that there are bodies all over the ceiling. It's like, what is it, stalactites or stalagmites? They're like, just, it's a patchwork of bodies on the ceiling. So something drips down on him because, of course, that's how you know to look up in scary movies. And he sees the bodies lining the scene. There's so many dead bodies here. Trish is waiting, meanwhile, lots of crows. So we're thinking probably Creeper isn't too far off. But we're going to go back to Derry in the basement because that's more interesting than Trish with the crows. He's got a close up now. He's looking real close with his flashlight. There's a couple up sort of on the upper part of the wall. They are stitched together. And the woman's head, it's a doll head, and it's been stitched on. And he's got a ring, and it looks like Darla and Kenny that they were just talking about. And except they died years ago and they've got skin. So what's going on here? So Trish is now waiting, and the stakes are raising. Every time we go back to Derry, it's like, okay, we thought it was bad and now it's worse. So we go back to Trish, and she sees a truck coming. She thinks it's the truck, and she can't start her car. Car trouble is going to be a thing that's going to just kick our butts in this film. So she can't start the car, and the truck passes her, and it's going to get to Derry first. Good thing it's not the truck. Thank goodness. That's good news. But just as we're relaxing from that, we're going to get a little jump scare because Derry just comes running up to the window. He's like clutching at it, and he's terrified. He can't even speak. He's freaked out. He's going to get in the car. And now they're driving. He's shaking. He's still speechless. Car's almost out of gas. They have to do something about that. So they get to the town of Pertwilla. And Derry can't get much out, but what he can say is, Darla lost her head. You know what? You know what he did for her? Sewed it back on. That's what he did. At this point, Trish is like, I don't even know what you're saying, but you obviously believe this. It's terrible. So they pull into the diner. The truck speeds past them. Surely the creeper has seen them, at least seen the car. I mean, he was driving behind the car twice. He certainly recognizes it. They decide the creeper must be going back to the house, the church. Probably going to do something about the evidence. So they're going to run. They need to get right quick. They need to get into the diner. They need to make a call. They're going to go in. They're going to interrupt everything. It's like the record scratches. Everybody looks at them. These are the people from out of town. Derry's crying, so scared. Before he can make a call, the phone rings. The payphone next to them rings and scares them. They do a lot of jump scares in this film. And it's a woman we're going to meet later. She doesn't name herself, but she knows who picked up the phone. She's like, have you seen the cats yet? You and Derry. She's talking to Trisha. She's like, then she talks to Derry. She's like, you with the shirt, the torn shirt and the bloody hand and the rose tattoo. The way we're going to identify you later at the end of the movie, you found its House of Pain. Yep, House of Pain. And the bodies, not sure if it's a demon or a devil or a hungry thing from some dark place in time. She's got these lines, you know, she gets like the biggest chunks of dialogue in the film sometimes. He's not going to stop coming after you. He's found you. He's not going to stop. Once it has the scent, it can't stop. I saw the truck with the license plate, and she starts talking about this, I want to say phonograph recording of Jeepers Creepers. She's saying, this is the song you got to listen for, because when that happens, the where'd you get those eyes part, you hear that song, you run. It means something bad's going to happen. At this point, you know, Derry's heard one too many things that ring true. Really, you just need one or two things that ring true, and that's enough. He hangs up the phone. He's not happy. They're going to call the cops. They're going to wait at the diner. It's night now. They've been waiting long enough. The cops don't really believe Derry. And does Trisha even believe Derry? Maybe not. So that's the latest and greatest there. But just as the cops are not believing him and sending people to inspect the church just to appease him, Derry, who's getting really heated. He's like, I know what I saw. He's preserved the bodies. Like that's what's happening. He must have 500 or 600 bodies down there, way more than we saw. So that's impressive. I love his line that this is some psycho version of the Sistine Chapel. What a great line that they attached there, and absolutely describes the visual that we saw. As all of this is happening, the diner patrons become fascinated by something outside, and they're like, come over here, cops. Turns out and then we go to the window, the car is broken into. And now I don't know what kind of editing technique this is. Maybe somebody can clarify this for me. When you like repeat, like you sort of like crash zoom it a couple times, the same exact thing from different angles. It's like broken into car, broken into car, broken into car. It's the same exact scene. We're just seeing it a few times repeated for emphasis. I described it terribly, but hopefully that was good enough for somebody to explain to me what that was. So apparently the people at the diner are like, well, it was terrible. There was a man at your car sniffing your laundry. He liked it. And then if that weren't bad enough, if having Darius sent isn't bad enough, Dari pulls out his underwear that has his name, Darius, like on it. And he's like, he knows my name too. I mean, it's the least of his problems, right? So Dari finds a handprint on the car. It kind of flakes away as he's showing it to the cops. And Trish is going to look up into the wind. One of the things that's maybe not as obvious in this particular shot choice, but just something weird happens with the wind. Weird wind conditions happen around the creeper. So we'll notice it here because the wind has picked up. Okay, so now we get a little jump scare with cars driving on the road. The church is on fire. So we're going to get some radio calls to the cops here. The cops are like, how is he traveling so fast? He'd have to be like superhuman. Or at least that's what Dari and Trisha are saying. And the cops, meanwhile, are getting this call that the church is on fire. So we're going to kind of alternate between the cops and Dari and Trish. Dari and Trish are saying like, yeah, like what's on the radio? They play it. There's a version of Jeepers Creepers, but not the version of Jeepers Creepers, a version of Jeepers Creepers. So they're going to have an argument about whether that's the right version of Jeepers Creepers for the prophecy to come true. And the cops in the other car are on the radio. Hey, that handprint you got, yeah, that was dead skin. That whoever left that is not alive. It's dust. We're going to hear a thud on the top of the car. And then I love this choice, and it's similar to what we saw before when Dari and Trish were driving and the Jeepers truck came up on them the first time to begin with. We're going to see from, in front of the car, shooting basically through Dari and Trish's entire car. They're having an argument about the song on the radio, and we see behind them in the cop car, the creeper is on top of the car. He's on top of the car. What a cool, some really cool ideas and visuals here. Okay, so from that, we're going to very quickly go back inside the cop car. What's this thud? The woman cop in the passenger seat's going to inspect. She's going to get yanked out. And then the creeper is going to reach through the car because nothing's too solid a substance for the creeper. And he grabs the driving cop's head and he lifts him out and he cuts off his head and he throws that. And that's going to get Dari and Trish's attention when they hear the thud of a head. And so, I mean, now everybody's going to swerve to a stop. And Dari and Trish do what you would logically do in this situation, get out and inspect. No. Trish is going to start to get closer. Dari's like, come back. This is probably not good. He is correct. The creeper's inside. He steps out. And we're going to see the creeper for the first time. We just get more and more revealed to us about the creeper as we go through. So the creeper is We see the white hair, sort of the sort of like the mullet part of the white hair, the party in the back situation that's going on. Creeper's very tall. Creeper's got a long coat on, very, very formal. Uh, he's whistling Jeepers Creepers, which is creepy. He retrieves the head that he dropped to the side of the road. He's got what looks like fairly long fingers or nails. He's got pointy ears. He's gonna snip. Now we're gonna see a whole series of things that would unsettle anyone, and it definitely unsettles Derry and Trisha. The Creeper's gonna get this guy's head. He's gonna sniff it a couple times, and then it looks like he's making out with the face. And then it looks like he goes in to make out with it again. And then we realize he's trying to eat the guy's tongue. He wants his tongue. If this man could speak, what would he say? Our protagonists are going to drive away stunned. I like this little funny moment that they put here. We get the Creeper opens up the back of his truck. He throws the wrapped body of one of the cops, into it. He puts on his hat. Got to be respectful. He's got a greenish face. We're seeing the face a little better. He's going to shut the truck. We've got a black screen, and then he opens it up again. I just the good comedic timing of opening it up again and throwing the head in. Like, don't want to forget this. All right, Derry and Trish, they're driving. She's speeding. She wants out. And then she's going to come to a screeching halt in front of a house. There might be a phone there. Maybe they can make a call. Terry's like, to whom, about what? What are we going to say? So they're fighting about that. It's another creepy house. There's a scarecrow in the yard. There's a woman on the porch that I only know from the movie Clue. But she's here in this movie too. She says, who are you? She doesn't have a phone, she says. Trish just wants to call the police. She's the Portola County Police. She's like, you're in the other county. You're in Poho County. She's like, I don't care. I just want to talk to the police. This woman has a lot of cats. And this is part of the prophecy that the woman on the phone earlier had shared. Have you seen the cats yet? The woman's going to turn on the light. Derry wants to go. He wants out of here because he's seen the cats, and that's, a harbinger of bad things to come. Lights go out. The weird wind conditions start again. The cats growl. The Creeper is standing in the field. The woman's going to get a shotgun. The Creeper doesn't care. He moves a little. She shoots him. It seems like she does, in fact, shoot him, but that has really no impact. He somehow jumps onto the roof or flies or explodes onto the roof. And it sounds like his entire body has landed there, even though he was shot with a shotgun. She says, what did you bring into my house? The cats start running out. She is going to go in. She's going to fight the Creeper. We're going to get a couple gunshots, and then we're going to see her reappear. She's standing, not really moving, and that might be good. And Derry and Trisha are like, what's she doing? What's she doing? They're looking around the other side, and yep, the Creeper is holding her up. He has maimed her, he's choking her, and she's dying, and he's like carrying her forward. And when he moves her face, it reveals his face, which is now green, and it's like gill-like. He's got sort of like small gills all over his face, it looks like. He's got these colorless / maybe slightly gray eyes. I think they were aiming for colorless here. He's got very long teeth. Creeper smiles, is going to throw the woman, doesn't need her anymore. Took something from her. It's going to follow Derry and Trish now, and they're going to drive away. The gears are sticking because this is right around the time when you need car trouble. The Creeper gets on the car, and she can only go in reverse right now, so she's going to drive in reverse, and it's going to flip off. I really enjoy this scene. The gymnast in me enjoys seeing the Creeper flip off. And then it's pacing in front of the car. It's like a cat and mouse sort of situation happening here. She tries to hit him. Love this. It runs over her car just fine. She backs up. It runs over her car the other way. And so it starts walking towards them. She's sort of luring it in, and then she hits it again. This time she actually hits it, and it flies over, and you just see weapons dropping down. It's raining the weapons he had, and then it rains his body. And so she's going to back up and run over it with her car again. And then she's going to drive forward over it, and then she's going to back up over it. Derry's like, okay, you got it. We're safe. It's fine. And we see it's got smushed limbs. Its leg is its boot, its foot, has fallen off. It's severed. This is not, this the creeper is not okay. This man is not okay. Creeper starts to reanimate though, and we see the coat rips open and a wing pops out, a big one. And they're like, yeah, leaving. She drives over it again and they leave. And hopefully that was the end of the creeper. But I don't know. Seems like wishful thinking with that wing coming out. We're going to go to the police station. Trish is going to try to call their mom. Derry's looking at the wall of missing people. He's like, yep, saw all of them in the basement. A woman comes in, the woman who was on the phone before, the woman who had that prophecy. Her name is Giselle. She is a psychic. She's everything she's saying is adding up. You found the bodies in the cellar, didn't you? Yep, saw them in a dream. I have dreams sometimes. You saw the cats. Yep. This woman comes in to give us chunks of exposition, because if the film didn't make sense, she needs to make it make sense. So we're going to find out that every 23rd spring for 23 days, this thing gets to eat certain things or people. She says it takes what it needs: lungs, eyes. Whatever it eats becomes part of it. It dresses like a man to hide that it's not. Just such, very foreboding dialogue. It won't stop chasing you. It can smell fear and find out if there's something in somebody it might like. So that's the move. You make somebody afraid, you smell what's inside them, and you decide if you like it. That's the shop. It's like window shopping for the creeper. All right, so we're going to see as she's explaining she's giving us the exposition. Meanwhile, this beating you pulls up to the police station. The creeper comes out and he's limping real gingerly, but walking and alive or undead. I don't know. Okay, so the lights go out, the phones go out, and now the cops need to start checking on things. They're going to check on the prisoners. Most of them are fine, except the one that isn't, that's currently being eaten by the creeper. And now the creeper is like, has slightly more flesh-toned flesh and less green, if you will. And he's got really big wings, and the cop shoots him. Doesn't matter at all. Cops in fact killed for that act of treason. And then everybody's saying, okay, Derry and Trish need to hide. Giselle starts singing Jeepers Creepers. She's like, that's the song that you need to look out for. When it's all I know is I saw a dream where it was playing on a phonograph while one of you is screaming in the dark somewhere. Screaming the last scream you'll ever scream. Thank you, Giselle, for the exposition and for making us suitably afraid. Over the radio, we're going to hear, a bunch of cops are bracing themselves, and then there's the people who are manning the jail with where all the prisoners are, and they're like, the creeper's coming. So Giselle is going to take Derry and Trisha, and they're going to try to hide. They're going to go off on their own as the cops get ready to face off. The creeper, everybody at the prison probably has succumbed to the creeper at this point. So now all the guys who were together that were watching all those cops, they're braced, they're ready. And then one of them gets plucked off the ground by the creeper, and he puts a hole in the guy, probably steals his lungs, I'm thinking, since that was the organ that was named earlier. Could have been his heart. But I think it was a lung. And he puts a hole in his body so that the flashlights shine through. That's one of my favorite images from this film, just to see the flashlights of the police behind shining into the camera through this guy's dead body. The rest of the cops are going to go to find the creeper. He's gone. We're going to hear some shooting as we watch as Dari and Trisha and Giselle are running. They can't get out though. Door's locked, automatic door. You know, when you have an emergency, you can't get out. You're just like, oh, didn't see that in my dreams. Dari says, okay, hold on, back it up. You said somebody is screaming. Who? Which? Who? Who is screaming when that Jeepers Creeper song plays? She doesn't answer. He's like, are your dreams ever wrong? She's like, you don't understand. She's looking at Trisha when he's asking, like, who does the creeper take? But he doesn't understand. The creeper is now going to peer out from behind the wall, and Trisha and Dari are going to run. It really wants them, so it's going to start climbing sideways along the wall. Giselle drops down to pray. It grabs her, smells her, doesn't need her. It's going to go follow the people that it wanted to follow anyway. We're going to get to Trisha and Dari in an interrogation room of all places. The window that's in there doesn't open. Not sure what they would have done if it did. Trisha is going to look in the two-way mirror. We're going to see the creeper behind the two-way mirror, trying to sniff her through the mirror, but that's not going to do. And so Trisha and Dari start to fight in front of the mirror, and maybe he's intrigued by what he's saying now. So he's going to crash into the room. He's going to grab one in each hand. He's going to sniff them both. He's going to lick them. He's going to throw Trisha away. Doesn't need her. She was afraid, but it didn't tell him what he needed to know about her. He throws her away, but he's still holding on to Dari. The cops break the glass. They step in. They've got their guns trained on the creeper, and he has Dari hostage. And now it's gonna grow gills, like proper gills, and it's gonna scream. And it reminds me of that one dinosaur in Jurassic Park. You know which one I'm talking about. If you don't, let's talk. So Trisha tries to negotiate with it. She's in the bargaining phase of grief. She's like, take me instead. I'm way stronger. Yep, take me. I'm the one you want me. And it's listening and it's screaming, but it's not having it. The creeper declines. It flies away, carrying Dari with it. It flies into the night. She's going to run out of the building after them, and she's going to watch it carrying Dari into the moonlight. So the next day, because we wait a whole day, or at least, I don't know, a whole night, and Trisha is at the police station looking haggard. Giselle enters. She's like, your parents are outside. Trisha says, you never answered him. Are your dreams ever wrong? Giselle's like, you know what? I'm crazy. Nobody can trust I'm just crazy. Trisha's going to go outside. She's going to watch a crow flying, and we're going to follow as the crow flies all the way to a factory. A solitary factory. We're going to go inside the factory. It seems to be raining and dripping inside this gross factory. There's steam coming off of things. There are cobwebs. We're going to go through a door. We're going to start to hear the sound of Jeepers Creepers playing on a phonograph, and it's going to get louder and louder and louder. We'll go downstairs into the basement, and we're going to see the creepers working on an art project. He's sewing up some bodies. He's doing it by candlelight, which is so romantic. And then we're going to see him go over to his workstation, his art piece, if you will. And we're going to see a rose tattoo, which was what was described to us in the exposition from Giselle earlier. So this is definitely Dari's body. And we pan up this body until we get to his face. And there are holes where the eyes are supposed to be, and there's nothing in the back of his head. And that is the untimely demise that our Dari has met here in this basement of the factory. And the creeper, as we close out the film, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes? The creeper comes in and looks through one of the eye holes. And he's got Derry's eye. It's no longer a colorless slash maybe light gray eye. It is a brown eye. It is the Derry eye that he just took. And that, my friends, is Jeepers Creepers. I don't know. It's cool. I love the way the monster keeps evolving. I think it was kind of cool to begin with, and then it got cooler. I like that they played with certain things, like you can't hear until something gets closer to you. They do that a few times in the film. I really like the relationship between the brother and sister. These are all things that I thought were really neat. I thought they had some fun visuals, like the flashlight looking through the hole in the body. So every now and then, this movie will give you a visual that's like, ooh, I kind of like this. It's like the kind of thing that I feel like somebody who created a film like this, or somebody who was writing it, they had a visual in their head and they built something around that. So that's how it strikes me. And I love the image of the creeper running over the car. And just the how unsettling it is that no matter how far away you get or how fast you go, until the 23 days is up, if the creeper wants you, the creeper will find you. Because I don't really think that there's like a radius on his, there's probably not a limit on how far he can go. Yeah, why would there be, really? So, it's good stuff. I also like the fact that it doesn't have a happy ending. Like, we got a final girl, but that's not the person we were tracking here, really. And so it doesn't feel like a happy outcome. And so, yeah, there was a survivor, but we were really paying attention to the guy who perishes in a terrible way. And, a lot of times, I think it's important that we have some horror movies that have horrible outcomes like this, because otherwise you would never feel the stakes of any horror film. And so having something like this makes you realize, like, yeah, bad guy is going to be a bad guy. And that's that. So that's what I thought about Jeepers Creepers. What did you think about Jeepers Creepers? Let me know in the comments what you thought about the film. And I have a request for you. Look, I've watched so many horror films in my day that I have become pretty desensitized to them. So I can't really tell how scary a movie actually is if somebody wants me to make a recommendation, for example. And so here's what I'm asking for you. Help me with my busted scary meter. Tell me how scary you think this movie was on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being not scary at all, 10 being so scary, too scary. On that scale, let me know in the comments where you think this one lands. It'll be fun to sort of see if there's a trend or an average, and it might help better inform me and anybody who's looking for, being able to recommend some of these films. So would love to see that, and see where we land. And next time it's going to be day 5, and we're going to watch Scream, of course, a 1996 slasher film with a whole franchise behind it. So if you want to make it a double, triple, quadruple, however many movies feature, you are absolutely welcome to do that. But that is the one that's next up for us. And I hope you'll join me again for the next recap video. Happy EEKtober, everybody. Get spooky, get donuts.